Hello everyone, welcome to road.cc. Now you've probably seen that Zwift has released a map of France as part of its time with the Tour de France. And that map includes the biggest climb yet on Zwift. It's the ascent of the Mont Ventoux from Bedouin, which is 19 kilometers from start to finish, and it packs in nearly 1,500 meters of climbing. It's a monster. I've had a go at it today, and I've also been up it in real life, so here are my thoughts on what Zwift has done with it, and also some course notes on what to expect if you're planning a go. Now, if you've done the climb, or you're going to do it after watching this, comment below and let us know your time. Right, the first thing to note is that the climb has a very different character to the other big climb in Zwift. That's the Alpe du Zwift, which is modelled on Alpe d'Huez. Now that climb, it's a classic alpine col. It's got 21 hairpins all the way to the top. The Ventoux barely has a hairpin in it. I mean, most of the way it's simply an endless, unremitting slog. So that's something to look forward to. The climb basically falls into two bits. There's the bit before Chalet Reynard, the cafe, and then you leave the tree line, and then there's the bit after that to the big tower at the top, through the rocks and the moonscapey bit. The climb starts with a little bit of a false flat, just to lull you into a false sense of security. Then there's a hairpin at the bottom that marks the start of the climb proper. And at that point, the gradient ticks up to about 10%. To be honest, it never really bothers with less than that for the 10K up to Chalet Reynard from there. There's one hairpin midway, which I recall stopping out on my real life ascent to have a quick word with myself, pour some water on my head. Other than that, just straight up through the trees. Now, the road up from Bedouin here in Zwift is, so far as the gradient and direction goes, it's a faithful representation of the actual climb. At the top, it's recognisably the Ventoux. You get the big pointy tower, although unfortunately you don't get the pick and mix stalls. They're very good, very expensive. It's mostly rocky and empty along the top. The road snakes along the side of the mountain like it does in real life. It's marked out by poles so the snowplows can find it in winter. Not an issue really in Zwift, but they're there. There's a tunnel and a river thrown in for a bit of variation. They're not on the real climb, but it's reasonably faithful. Also, it's how you'd want the top of the Ventoux to feel. It feels open and moonscapey. It's very good. The bottom section, on the other hand, it's just not that exciting in real life. It's basically an unrelenting grind full of trees and flies and heat. That's it. You can't see the mountain, top of the mountain or anything. You can just see enough of the road in front, like snaking up through the trees at a too steep an angle to be thoroughly demoralising. So, fair play to Zwift, which has borrowed some other bits of France, added a nice mountain railway and some rapids, some big boulders, the odd castle, a ruined church to give you something to look at on the way up. There's no hairpins to count down, obviously, but Zwift has added those little kilometre markers from the real climb, the white and yellow posts. They tell you how far to the top, and also they tell you the average gradient for the next kilometre. Not that that's generally good news. There's a cable car too. When you get to that, you should be on the lookout for a hairpin round to the left. For a start, you get a bit of respite there, and also it means you're nearly at Chalet Reynard. So the road sweeps back round to the right, it steepens up again, obviously, and then it relents a little bit towards the next left-hand hairpin, which is actually the junction with the road to Salt, where the Chalet Reynard cafe is. Now that other road isn't on the map, so it just looks like a hairpin, but from there, it's 6 kilometres to the top. So at that point, don't make the mistake of thinking you're nearly at the top, because you're not. You're still 6K away. It's pretty much a third of the climb to go. In terms of the gradient though, it does get a little bit less steep for the final bit. Also, the gradient's a little bit more variable, so there's a few more false flats to recover on. You can see the tower pretty much all the way, and just like in real life, it never really seems to be getting any closer, which is pretty hard work mentally. Now, once you've passed the Tom Simpson Memorial, you'll see that on the right-hand side with the steps up to it. You're within striking distance of the top there, so there's a little bit of a recovery section, and then it steepens up just before the banner at the top, and then you're there. Quick lap of the top round the radio tower, you can freewheel back down again. Have another go if you like. I didn't do that. In terms of time, my climb took me about 1 hour and 45 minutes. I wasn't going full gas. My average was about 2.7 watts per kilo. Going hard, I'd probably be aiming to do it in an hour and a half, just like I aim to do the Alp in an hour and don't quite make it. So it'd be a bit like that. Overall, I like what they've done with it. It's, on the one hand, it's still recognisably the Ventoux, but on the other hand, it's a bit more interesting in terms of the scenery than in real life, especially on the bottom section. And it's definitely a challenge, so give it a go. Let us know how you got on in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more vids from us. Cheers, thanks for watching.